folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our book for today is A Discovery of Witches. This is the first book in the All Souls series by Deborah Harkness. Now, there is violence, killing, murder, blood, vampires, witches, demons, magic, and a whole bunch of weird shit with magic. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. All right. Oh, this has been a long time coming for me to finish this book. And this is not a new book as well. I don't even remember when it came out. I think maybe the early 2000s this book came out. But I bought it, I think probably in 2017 or 16 maybe. Because I started reading this in 2017 and I only finished it yesterday. Finally in 2025. Oh, sorry, in 2025. Yeah, you're probably thinking, shit, took you 7 years to read it. Well, no. I just back then in 2017 I read like 300 something pages, and for some reason, even though I really enjoyed it, I remember I put it down and then I misplaced it, and I finally found it. I think it was last year, in the end of the year I finally found it, and I finally read it this year. Yeah, holy shit. I did still remember most of what I read then, at least the basic of what happened. But yeah, it's been a long time coming. I can't believe it took me so long until I finished it. But I guess on the one bright side is now that I have my channel, I can talk about it now, and I'll read the next book in the series. It's been so long, by the way, that originally this was a trilogy, but then now there's more books. There's number 4, 5, and number 6 is coming. Sorry. I don't know when though, because I saw book number 4 came out in 2019, and book number 5 came out in last year in 2024. So yeah, it's probably gonna take some time. At least I'll finally start catching up until then. Alright, so enough blabbering about that. You can even see the book's shape, it's all beaten up. And also here you see I wrapped it, and here it's gotten brownish. Look at that. Yeah, it's been so long. Holy shit. Okay, so that aside, let's talk about the plot here. So the book's main character, I suppose characters, it'll start with Diana. Diana is a scholar, not scholar. She's a professor in, was it Oxford? She's into the she learned history and other things revolving around that, and she's very interested in a certain manuscript. But that's what she does. That's her job. But she's also a witch. But she doesn't want to be a witch, and she's denying her own nature, and has been doing so since she was a child. Because when she was 7 years old, her mom and dad were murdered. And since then, she's been, obviously scarred for life. She's been living with her Aunt Sarah and her Aunt Sarah's lover, Emily. So basically her other aunt, even though they're not married. But she's been living with them, and then she moved out, and she's in Oxford. And one day she goes to the library. There's a certain manuscript she wants to get, and she manages to summon a manuscript called Ashamol 782. Right? So, yeah, 782, I think it was. It's this like manuscript, this thing that has been looked for centuries, basically. So she manages to summon it. Now, in the let's say universe of Deborah Harkness, there are witches, demons, and vampires. They're like the main creatures. Let's say werewolves, anything else are not really mentioned, and they all, like descended from this one creature, perhaps. So they're the main three creatures of this world, and they have the congregation. So there's like three vampires, three demons, and three witches there. And there's the congregation, and interspecies relationships are a big no-no. You're not allowed to date someone from a vampire and a witch can't be together, and so on and so forth. You can only be with your own kind. Now, the vampires and the witches have been watching Diana. They wanted to get or the witches mainly wanted to get their hands on this manuscript, but they don't manage. And that day, Diana meets a vampire called Matthew de Clermont. And so begins their love story. At first, well, they kind of get to know each other. Obviously, she doesn't like him at first, because they're not supposed to like each other. She's a witch, he's a vampire. But over the course of a few weeks, well, yeah, it's a few weeks so they get to know each other. But they meet, they start to get along, and to fall in love. And then Matthew takes her to his mother, his vampire mother, to meet her and her housekeeper. And as things progress between them, things become more complicated. There's many secrets that he has. Mainly, Matthew has secrets that Diana has as well from him, and so on. And also, then Diana learns about the congregation and that they're not allowed to be together, and she thinks for a bit there that Matthew's going to leave her. But they doesn't. They stay together. Again, because then Diana denied her nature for so long. She can't even use her powers as she should, or at all. She doesn't know anything. So then along the book, it's basically discovered that the congregation wants Diana because she has powers, great powers, and they also want the manuscript. And they have been the ones that possibly killed her parents when she was 7 years old. She's what I remember. I think she's about 30 in the beginning of the book. I mean, she doesn't get older, but yeah, she's 30. So they're the ones that probably killed her parents. Her parents knew this would happen. The thing with her parents is her dad was a witch as well. And they, I guess the witches didn't want them to be together because, a witch and male witch, and I don't think they say warlock here. They didn't want a female witch and a male witch to be together because the offspring they would produce would probably be very strong, which was the case. And Diana's mother had the sight, and so she foresaw that this would happen. And before she and her husband left to meet their end, they they locked Diana's magic in a way that only she would be able to unlock it when she grew up, so the congregation wouldn't come near her. Unfortunately, as she is with Matthew in his home in France with his mother and the housekeeper, Matthew's mother really detests witches because she wasn't a witch when she was human, but she had a sight as well. And also, witches killed her husband, her vampire husband, or mate, I should say. But she warms up to Diana. And while Diana's there, she gets kidnapped by a witch from the congregation named Seto. That's an interesting name, I must say. I thought it was something Egyptian, but no, she's Scandinavian or something. Anyway, And she gets tortured. The witch tries to open her up to learn her secrets, but Diana prevails with the help of her mother and father's ghosts. Where she's been taken to, there's ghosts everywhere. Diana can see them. And so, and then the witch throws her down this hole where they would throw people, and they would have to lay there with broken bones until they died. Yeah, very barbaric and cruel. But Matthew, with the help of his older vampire brother, manages to find her, and they save her, and then they take her back home to her aunt's because she needs someone to teach her magic, and how to use her magic. The thing is, before they left Oxford to Matthew's home, Matthew should have said this. I'm all over the place because again, it's been years since I read like the first 300 pages, and then now finally finished the book. But Matthew's, well, many things because he's been alive many centuries now. So he's a doctor. He's a scientist as well. So he checked Diana's blood back in his facility in Oxford, where he has his son Marcus, the vampire son, I should say, and his other assistant Miriam. The three M's, I just realized. Matthew, Marcus, and Miriam. So yes, they tested it, and Diana has a predisposition to many witch abilities. Many abilities that she, well, obviously can't control because her magic has been locked. But her mother told her stories before they left, so she would remember things later when she was an adult. So there's something that she could do to fight against. So now, then after they return home and Diana's recovering at her aunt's house, the two other vampires, Miriam and Marcus, arrive. And it turns out that Diana was a part of twins. She had a brother who had other abilities, among them the ability to time walk. Where the witch has these powers that can time walk into other, other time periods, future, past. So her brother was supposed to have that and the ability to summon witch fire as well. Then also in her aunt's house outside, they get attacked by a vampire that was sent by someone from the congregation. His name's Gerbert. I'm probably butchering that. They sent a vampire lady that he created so she would seduce Matthew. But he broke her, Gerbert, I mean, and so she's mentally ill. And she almost kills Matthew, but Diana kills her, and then she gives her blood to Matthew. And there's the goddess who she makes a deal with in order to save his life. And she promised the goddess to give her anything she wants for that. So that's left to be seen what's going to be with that promise in the future. Ooh. Okay, after that, obviously things get tense, things are bad. But then Diana's, her aunt's house, the Bishop house, is, and her surname's Bishop. It's a magical house. It makes rooms and changes things and hides things for you. It's actually quite cool. So it creates more rooms because Diane, Marcus, and Miriam stay, and then another. So now they have three vampires, three witches, and then later on, two demons arrive. One of them is the son of a woman that's part of the congregation, actually. And she sent her son and his wife there. And his wife, although she's a demon, she was born to a witch. And she's pregnant, the demon's wife. And then another demon that Matthew knows arrives as well. There's also the Brotherhood of Lazarus, which Matthew is a part of. Matthew is a part of, not a part of, he's the leader. His father was leader before him. That's there's so much in here that I'm not good at making such good summaries over something so long. But in the end of it, they make a plan. Now they have kind of like a counter congregation in a way, because now they have three demons, three witches, and three vampires. So there's that now. Now they have their own, and they need to devise a plan. They're going to split now, and all later meet up in Matthew's home in France. The demons are gonna go hide. The demon lady Sophia, she's pregnant with a daughter. And so yeah, because they realize they need Diana to learn to control her powers, because she has to do that or else she won't be able to protect herself and anyone else really. But they don't have time for that. So because her father was able to time walk, so is she able to, because she absorbed her male twin. And so, what Matthew proposes is they're going to go back in time to a period that he was in, that he knows, and find witches there that will teach Diana how to use her abilities. Because as the centuries progress, now witches are not as powerful, not having as many children. And the reason the congregation is so against the interspecies relationship, them all together, is because they don't want children to be created. Because at first you think, oh, but it's impossible, especially a vampire and a witch. How could they make a baby? Well, apparently the possibility is there. Because Matthew's mother's housekeeper has been giving Diana contraceptive tea all of throughout the week and something she was in their home. So they know of this possibility, and that frightens them. And Miriam says, this will be the next step in the evolution. Like breeding together in order to create more powerful offspring. So that they think that might be it. But the congregation doesn't want that. So that's what they're trying to stop. So Diana and Matthew could possibly have children in the future. So it's all very exciting and very interesting, and of course very dangerous. So the book ends basically with the plan is set, everyone goes, and they say goodbye. Diana's aunts leave, the demons have left, the vampires have left, and the last to leave are Diana and Matthew. They need three things from that time period in order to go there. And also Diana practices it before they leave, obviously. They take the three things and also a ring Matthew's mother gives to Diana. And that's it. They're in the barn. He holds on to her. They both take a step. And that's it. We'll find out what happens in the next book. Although then there's also a part with Diana's aunts coming back to pick up the family cat. And Matthew leaves a note for her there that they've made it. Somehow, I guess it's all to do with time travel. I know time travel's always a headache, isn't it? Okay, how did you manage to do that? If anyway, that's it. That's where the book. Sorry, where the book ends. So again, I probably didn't explain it as well. I'm sorry, but it's been there's such a long period between me starting and finishing. So yes, and even if I read the whole thing, I probably wouldn't have. Oh no, maybe then I would have had a better explanation. But that's more or less it. And it has just been fascinating. I can't explain to you why I put the book down back then. I really don't know. Because I did enjoy it. I remember I did, but I just put it down. Anyway, now I've finished it. I'm so happy I did. It's just so interesting. All the inner politics and the relationship. And again, this is at least, I guess, somewhat a realistic depiction of what would be between a vampire and a human having a relationship, unlike Twilight, for instance. I mean, yeah, it's obviously dangerous, but here it's more, way more brutal, and I would say it's a lot more realistic than Twilight. When I first started reading this, I thought, this is like if Twilight was for adults, except of course Bella's not a witch, but still, this is like if Twilight was actually written for adult readers, then the Bella wouldn't have been possibly so stupid and just attracted to Edward and not think this whole thing through. I've said that also about the Suki Steakhouse series. At least there, Suki is reacting realistically and understanding that she's dating a vampire. But yeah, anyway, it's so interesting, and I can't wait to read the next book, which I already ordered because again, it's been so long that you can't even order it in Israel. Because I've tried, and they said we can't even order it, and we don't have it anywhere. Well, what to do? There's a lot of interesting elements here of history, and they talk about alchemy and everything. It looks like there's sort of like a prophecy that about about Diana and Matthew, and how they might really produce a child. This is gonna be fascinating to see. And also fascinating to see what after this, because again, this was originally a trilogy. Makes me wonder why Deborah Harkness wrote more. Well, I got the book number 2 and 3 ordered, so I will see. You'll see how the third book ends. After that, I'll get the fourth one, most likely, and I'll then see next if. I just really hope she didn't just unnecessarily stretched it just to have more books. But again, I do wonder what the third after the third book is gonna be. I suppose I will find out, won't I? Oh, and also, so there's also a TV show apparently. I saw clips of it, and I think it might have given me some spoilers about the future of the other books. But we'll see, because obviously the series is gonna be a bit different, I imagine. Yeah, there's a series. Which means that there's now a cover with the series. I hate when they do the TV or movie covers on books. Makes me glad I have my old battered copy. At least it's got the original. By Penguin. Yeah, this has been a great read. Really fascinating. Oh, sorry. And I look forward to continue. This time it won't take me 7 years to finish, of course. But still, I'm glad I got to talk about it on my channel. As again, this has been a fucking great read. So I think if you like vampires, magic, all that stuff, I think you'll really enjoy this one. Do be warned though, it is a long one. This one's like 700 something pages. 717 actually. So yeah, but it's pretty long, but it's worth it. It's just so interesting and really cool. I really like the characters as well. So that is it, folks. Let me know if you've read A Discovery of Witches, and what did you think about it? I would like to know. And that is it. Oh, and wait, sorry. I usually mention the cover. Almost forgot about that. I really like this deep blue color. You see, there's all these signs. And here how it is. Oh, and this is how it is here. It's very, very nice. I hope to find maybe a better copy in the future. I'll look for one. And then I'll donate my battered one to the library. I'll see you maybe one day. So yeah, great cover. So that's it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about, share it on YouTube. Bye!